two main types of bindings. One's a frame binding, that's this binding here. They're all virtually the same, they all work on the same principle. You have your boot, which would go in and lock it down like a normal downhill binding. What that does, this allows you now to pivot, walk. Just remember, what we do is put a skin on the bottom. That allows you to glide, get some grip, glide, get some grip. We get to the top of the mountain, what we do then is we lock it in. Simple operation, from this point like that, locked in. We ski like a normal downhill binding, okay? Pretty basic, pretty simple. Next, binding known as the pin system. On the boot, you have two holes here, which allow to fit into these two little pins here. We've got the toe locked in. We're doing exactly the same as on a frame binding going up the hill. We've got our skin on, which is getting the grip. We get to the top. It starts to get steeper on the top of the hill. The good advantage of this binding is that it allows us now to have three variations. First variation is there, 1. Second variation, we just flip this over, 2. Third variation is up here, okay? The steeper I climb, the higher I will want this. Your leg angle's here, okay? Meaning that you're gonna put a lot of strain on the calf. If you are going forward like that, your body's like that, the extreme pain on your calf and your hamstrings. So to make it easier, we have it up higher. We are now getting ready to go into downhill mode. Okay, you're ready to do the descent. You take your skin off, you click in. You'll notice on here that we have a walk and a ski mode. Walk mode, you have that coming up because it locks you in and your toe will never come out if you cross it over or you get your pole stuck or whatever. Ski mode allows it to release. Basically, that's the difference. There's obviously the price difference is going to be greater on this one because there's a little bit more technology. We could go into these in greater detail. There's different weights, there's different models. There's people that want to tour on these, that want the lightest type of binding. We find that this can be good for downhill. It's a good all-round binding for ski touring and for downhilling in the resorts. Most people now are on pin bindings. Most of our rental fleet at Rhythm in our AT gear will be with a marker binding and a marker pin binding with the Roxer boot, black diamond boot, and the relevant boot that has the holes to take the pins. Obviously, you can use any boot you want. That's probably the advantage of this is that people who have one boot and two skis, a touring setup, plus a normal downhill setup, but don't have the pin system, can use their own boots in this because you don't have a pin system, obviously, and you can use both. What's the difference in this boot and a normal downhill boot? Well, most of these boots that we have, the AT boots, are softer in the front and allow us more leverage and a more comfortable boot. Usually a little wider in the toe region because you're doing a lot of walking. It's not that imperative to have such a tight fit as you do downhill. It's more for comfort because most of the time you are doing a lot of